All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about the gift that keeps on giving. Journey stuff, journey material, journey interviews. Neil Sean talking to Andy Green from Rolling Stone. Yeah, good stuff. Doing what I do in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. Andy Green was this guy that I had some communications with back during the Steve Perry return. Andy Green spoke to Steve Perry, and the interview at times was a little contentious when certain things were brought up. And Andy Green actually sent me messages correcting me that I thought that there was no way Steve Perry said these things. Turns out he said things that were even worse. I don't know if Andy Green used all of it. Maybe he did. But the point being is Andy was like, no, he was mad when I brought up certain people, Jonathan Cain in particular, and, getting back with Neil and so forth. It was actually worse. And Neil Sean at the time was saying, no, these people are just trying to put a wedge between me and Steve. That wasn't true. Steve had put the wedge there himself. So anyway, I figured I'd add a little context to this because Andy is now talking with Neil Sean and talking about the tour, which is coming up. According to Sean, the impetus for the farewell tour was Kane's desire to leave the band after one more road trip, which is actually going to be two more road trips. I think it's the same tour. It's two phases of the final frontier, the voyages of the Starship Journey. There will be no Starship, though. Would be cool for an opening band, but not going to happen. In fact, this is an evening with Journey. They're going to do an intermission. They're going to play deep cuts. They're going to let Neil just go off on guitar. And I'm thinking for the casual fan, this isn't going to be a fun night for them. It just isn't. I would keep this thing compact, play the songs people know, maybe throw a curveball here or there, but it's got to be a good curveball. It can't be an unhittable, unlistenable curveball, if you know what I mean. But this is what they've decided to do. It's kind of like, notice what's interesting here is their last album called Freedom was very self-indulgent and it had too much music on it. And people liked some of the songs. If you had boiled that album down to maybe 10 or 11 tracks and really got a good representation of what the band is supposed to sound like on those 11 tracks, I think that album would have done way better. Plus, the production value on that is just, there's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't sound right. Anyway, that dovetails with the whole, we're going to go out and do all this music. Is that what people are into right now? No. Attention spans, folks, if you haven't noticed, like if this video goes over 10 minutes, people are twitching. They're like, crap, I need to watch something else. Can we speed this up? Can we turn the speed of the video? I mean, you can. You go over to Spotify. If you want to listen to something faster, you could speed it up. Everyone sounds like Alvin the Chipmunk, right? So, but I listened to the content. It was 30 minutes of content I got in 7 minutes. So I can go on to watch something else. Hurry up, Dave. Get to your point. So according to Sean, the impetus for the farewell tour was Kane. Kane was the one who said, I'm done, and let's move on maybe. But there's something interesting that gets said here. Two things. And one of them involves Steve Perry, which is just insane. When I get to that, I'll do some commentary on that. Jonathan had mentioned that he was wanting to say goodbye at the end of this tour. At the time, we had a manager, which we don't anymore. The old story of that, it always manages to come back to the beginning, which is with me here and sort of running stuff. So again, Neil is claiming that he's running stuff, but it's him and Jonathan running stuff currently. And those are your two shareholders with a kickback to Steve Perry, who's not running things, but does decide things when it comes to legacy music. He has a say in that. So he goes on to say the legacy and the heart of the band have always been with myself. I've been here since day one, and wherever I go, the heart and soul of the band is going to go with me. Journey goes on. Now, a lot of fans would push back. Yeah, Neil, you're the guy. You're the original guy who's left. That's true, but when you say the heart and soul of this band, many people are going to go and push back and say it's kind of like Steve Perry is still the heart and soul of the band. I don't know. A lot of people are going to believe that and say that. So even me saying that out loud is controversial at this stage because Steve hasn't been with the band since 1998. So this is interesting. And I used to make fun of the whole Journey Beyond thing. It's like Beyond sausage, you know. It tastes like sausage, but made from soybeans. You know, that's what Journey Beyond or Beyond Journey, whatever this thing is going to be. Sean made it clear that he wants to keep performing after Journey wraps up. He might use the Journey Beyond moniker, which again is a bit like Journey Through Time, right? I heard people were really upset about Journey Through Time, and my guess is they're going to be equally upset about Journey Beyond. Why? I mean, just call it something else. Why put the word journey in there? Because, again, this is branding, and we found out with Kevin Cronin what happens when you lose the brand name. Nobody goes and sees you. They go, who's this? Who's Neil? There are a bunch of people, believe it or not, don't know who Neil Sean is. I know, right? He's been teasing this moniker on social media for quite some time now, but he might not use it. He goes, who knows? Nothing is in stone right now until I actually get there. In other words, this might blow up again and not work out. Why not use Journey Through Time? Because you can't use it. That's my guess. They told you, okay, fine, but you're not using that again. There's quite a few names I've gotten trademarks on. Yes, I would trademark something that doesn't have the word journey in it. That's what I would do. And people aren't going to care if you do that. But my guess is all of his trademarks have the word journey in it. Anyway, he goes, I've got a few trademarks, and so I can sort of levitate to what I'm thinking. He's going to drift upward, and what I'm feeling at that time. So it's a wait and see thing. He's got to assemble a team of really good attorneys to counter what he's going to get back. That's my guess, all right? I'm not saying I know this for sure. In the meantime, Sean is looking forward to reviving some Journey deep cuts. But let me get to the Steve Perry thing, because remember, about a month ago, we heard that Neil tries to communicate with Steve Perry, and on the other end, he hears crickets. Steve doesn't reply to his communications. He's been doing this for a number of years. But in this interview, he says he's open to reuniting with Steve Perry in some capacity on the upcoming tour. Really? He goes, I would welcome him, and I'm sure everybody else would too. If you look at the comments on videos, people are really getting tired of this current lineup. Sorry, just basic feedback here from what I'm reading. And people would be willing to hear and see Steve Perry again. Almost like you bring Steve out as a mascot. Here's Steve Perry, and the place would go crazy. Now, Neil Sean knows this, and he says, if he just wanted to walk on and say hi to people, like a walk-on appearance, like the rock and roll, hey, it's Steve Perry. He could dress in the tails and people would give him a standing ovation, and people would show up just to see that based on the comments that I get. That's how things have, just the nostalgia of seeing Steve Perry again on stage would work. He goes, this would be the tour to do it, because this is probably the last time the name Journey is going to be used on tour. And here's why. Because Jonathan, much like the guys in REO, he's not going to let Neil go out by himself as Journey. He's not going to do it. He's going to hold that name hostage. And should he? At this stage, I'm thinking, you know why he should? Because this should be done. This should be done really soon. Um, but anyway, he goes, if Steve Perry wanted to come on and sing anything, or if he just wanted to be part of it, he's welcome. So again, this feeds this. People are dying to see. Some people are a little more realistic and they're like, yeah, Steve, number one, Steve's not going to do it. Number two, Steve can't sing the way he used to sing. All right, that's going to be a problem. But they're already using help on vocals, according to Wings of Pegasus. And I've known about certain things since the album, that live album they did in Tokyo or wherever. And I heard some stuff about that. That's all I'm going to say as far as the vocals go. I'm not going to get into details, but from a very reliable source, someone told me about that. So they're getting some help out there. And they've been getting help, by the way, folks. Rumor has it they've been getting help for at least, I don't know, go back to Steve Augeri. They're getting, and maybe even before that. But right now, it's a little more obvious, I think, than it was then. So, to clarify, do Sean and company plan to retire the Journey name after the Final Frontier tour? It's still unclear. So, I don't know. You can't retire the name. The name will still be out there, but if someone in the corporation doesn't want you using the name, you can't continue to use it. So my guess is the name will be forced into retirement after this tour. He goes on, though, to say, I can't really speculate at this point. I'm kind of ready to move on, Sean said. For one, there's so many tribute bands out there right now playing whatever show we do. That's why I'm really glad what we're going to change, or that we're going to change things up here and throw in a lot of loops that people don't expect, because there's so many tribute bands out there doing the exact same show that we're doing. Translation, there are tribute bands out there doing what they're doing, probably as good as what Journey is doing. My friends from Ohio, Escape, go listen to what they do. In fact, they will do deeper tracks, but not super deep. They'll do a couple of deep tracks. It's not like their whole set is going to be deep tracks, but they master songs that I've never heard Journey perform live before, which I think is very interesting. And maybe Journey's going to do that on this tour to kind of push back, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think fans, the kind of fans that are left, want to hear hit songs. And if you're not playing the hits, I think you're going to have a lower turnout. People find out, okay, these are the songs I'd like to hear, and they're going off on all these tangents and all these solos and things. In the old days, that might fly a little bit, but even if you go back to like Live in Houston, right? If they have an album out, see, the difference is if you have an album out and the album is really popular, you can go deep into that album because people just bought that. And they're going to be like, yeah, I know Mother, Father. That's a great song. But now, you know, it's like the radio, which is destroying this industry because there's no creativity to it. There's no programming to it. It's probably all AI saying, Journey's top 5 songs are these. You should play these, and don't do any research into the other album tracks and stuff. So if you had radio support, I think you could go deeper, but you don't. So you have to go with what people know. Anyway, folks, so what did we get out of this? We got Journey name soon to be held hostage, right? You got another plea. Hey, Steve, we're here. Come on out. Just show up, be a mascot, and make the fans happy. And then, you know, you've got, will Journey continue after? No, it's going to have to be something else, because I'm thinking Jonathan's like, nah, you're not taking this name by yourself. And it's very REO Speedwagon-ish. And we'll see how that all shakes out. But There's going to be a new name, and I don't know about Journey Beyond. I don't think that's a good name. I think pick something else. Sit down with somebody who can help you create something new that still harkens back to Journey without being Journey. I think you could do that if you really worked at it. But bottom line, it might be too late to reinvent the wheel at this stage. So, anyway, just some random thoughts like I always do here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, buy me a coffee, Patreon, YouTube memberships, PJ Rock super chats. You know, I'm going to be talking about Journey a lot now because they're back in the spotlight. There's probably going to be more interviews to dissect, and I'll be here to do it for you if you care about this stuff. If not, then, wait for a different topic. All right. God bless. Remember, Jesus loves you, even if you don't love yourself and even if you're unlovable. God is there. He's right there in the midst of all of the negativity and all of the difficulties of life. Even if you don't think he's there, he's there. He's there, and he's your only hope.